Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our entitled parents. In today's episode, EM demands to swap shifts with me because she has kiiiiids. Entitled mom on a crowded bus insists I give up my seat for her son, but a kind stranger comes to my rescue. My entitled dad wanted me to be a housewife. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. EM demands to swap shifts with me because she has kiiiiids. Background: all persons here are nurses. We have a system at our hospital. Big shift changes, multiple days, must be done in the month before the new month. Single days needs just some days in advance. Also, we have a system for the holidays. One year you work Christmas, the next year you work New Year's Eve and New Year's. As a young guy without kids, I mostly try to cover other people's Christmas for getting New Year's off. I mean, we celebrate with close family on Christmas Eve anyways. This year I had to work Christmas and asked around if someone's wanna swap. One of my co-workers directly answered. She told me she would gladly work New Year's for me and I work Christmas for her. We talked to our charge nurse and she gave green light and changed the schedule. She was happy to see her family after last year's Christmas was in lockdown, and I was happy to get hammered on New Year's Eve with my GF and friends. But then today happened. Our EM or nurse Karen is one of my co-workers. She's okay at her job, although she complains when she can't leave on the dot. I never had any real problems with her, we just coexisting. This happened on my break today. Nurse Karen, NK Hey OP. Me: oh, hi, I wasn't really paying attention. I ate my soup and browsed Reddit on my phone. NK, can I ask you something? Me: am sure. NK, so I saw you and other nurse's name swapped holidays. Me: yeah. NK, well, I thought you cancel it and cover my shift on Christmas. Me: no. NK, what? Why? It's the same for you. You have your New Year's Eve off anyways. Me: well, yeah, maybe, but other nurse made plans with her family. NK, ugh, maybe, but I need Christmas off. I have kids and she doesn't. Me: yeah, maybe, but she has plans too. NK, that's not fair. I had no chance to ask you first. Me: yes, you had. I asked in our instant messenger name work group. I then showed her the message in the group, and sorry, who comes fast paints first, a saying in my language, not so good in English though. It's wer zuerst kommt, malt zuerst. NK, ugh, that's so unfair. You both don't have children, so Christmas isn't that important to you. It's a family holiday. Me: yeah. Other nurses meets her family on Christmas, that's why I swapped with her. I give her my own copyrighted F***CKU sweetie smile I got from working in that soul-sucking snake pit aka my hospital. NK, ugh. She then stomped off. I just get back to Reddit and continue to eat my onion soup, a mistake because onion breath and mask aren't a good match. The nurse I swapped holidays with told me that Nurse Karen tried to talk her out of it too, but she wouldn't budge either. She then tried to talk to our charge nurse, but that was in vain. Our momentary charge is a work friend of me and we are both male nurses, so we have a secret but sacred bond to have each other's backs. Karen is pissed because no one's wanna swap, but that's not my problem. I'm not responsible for your life choices is a good response to these people. It's not my fault you don't understand how birth control works. I hope you're sending your kids to a better school. Ha ha ha. I love it. I am jealous though. Do you know how many times I have been forced, not asked but forced, to cover a holiday because I don't have kids and so does? Good for you both for standing your ground. That's the perk of being friends with the dude who makes the schedule. When I was a student nurse, he was my mentor, so I'm one of the few good nurses out there, which is basically a flex, but I would have done it for her if she had told me sooner, because I really don't care who I'm covering for, as long I have New Year's off. I was at work training that was held away from where we all lived, so we were all staying in hotels away from family. The first day, the instructor let everyone with kids go 30 minutes early in case they needed to call home. She tried this the second day as well, so I got up and left early too. She told me I had to say. I told her that was discriminatory and left. She called me boss and reported me. We had a different instructor after that. What is with people? Just because you have kids doesn't make you more important than others. I have kids, and if I lucked out on asking for time off, then that's my bad. Entitled mom on a crowded bus insists I give up my seat for her son, but a kind stranger comes to my rescue. I've been a fan of this subreddit for a while, and I finally have my own story to contribute. This happened last week during my evening commute. I work in the city and usually take the bus home. As anyone who commutes knows, these buses can get packed, especially during rush hour. On this particular day, I managed to snag a seat, which felt like winning the lottery after a long day at work. I had my earbuds in and was half asleep, lost in my music. A few stops into my ride, entitled Mom, EM, and her son, who looked to be about 10 years old, got on the bus. It was clear from the get-go that there were no seats available, but that didn't stop EM from scanning the bus like she was on a mission. She locked eyes with me and beelined in my direction. EM, in a tone that was more demanding than polite, said, "Excuse me, could you let my son sit down? He's really tired from his day and needs to sit." I was surprised she singled me out since there were other people, some elderly, standing as well. I was about to respond, maybe even stand up, despite feeling exhausted myself, when a woman standing nearby, I'll call her helpful lady, HL, spoke up. HL said in a kind but firm tone, "Ma'am, it's not right to single out someone for their seat. We're all tired after a long day. Perhaps your son can manage standing for a bit." EM's face turned a shade of red, and she responded, "But he's just a child, and children need to sit. It's common courtesy." The bus was unusually silent, with everyone seemingly tuned into our conversation. HL, undeterred, replied, "I understand, but so do the elderly, the disabled, and those who've had long days at work. We can't expect others to always give up their comfort for us. It's a valuable lesson in consideration and patience." EM looked ready to argue more but seemed to realize that the bus audience wasn't on her side. She muttered something under her breath about rude people and moved slightly away, still standing. The rest of the ride was uneventful, but the atmosphere felt a bit charged. When my stop arrived, I got up, and as I passed HL, she gave me a small smile and a nod, as if to say, "You did the right thing." I nodded back in gratitude, feeling relieved but also a bit surprised at how the situation unfolded. I was always told kids are half price because they're supposed to stand if an adult wants a seat. Don't know if that's still the case. Yeah, my nana always made me give up my 40th seat on the bus to an adult. That's how I was raised. Young kids have energy and lots of it. It was also a respect your elders thing. Kids just didn't sit if someone old or pregnant was standing up. Then you gave your seat as expected. I get the feeling helpful lady works either in a hospital or hospitality and has developed her skills after a year of dealing with difficult people. I have worked on pubs and clubs for years. I'm the one my colleagues call to deal with difficult people since I'm the one with the patience and ability to get rid of people without it escalating. I'm the weirdo who frequently has people turn their anger and tantrums at being told to leave/not enter into smiles and them leaving with a "Thanks so much, you're the best." Her words were thoughtful and effective without being offensive. When I was 10, my mother would give me sharp elbow in the ribs if I didn't automatically offer my seat to someone disabled, pregnant, or basically over the age of 40. I was brought up to always give up a seat for women, the elderly, disabled, and anyone who really needed it. I always have and always will, but a 10 years old does not need to sit unless they have a disability. If anything, I would have let the mom sit, but the way she went about it is absolutely ridiculous. My entitled dad wanted me to be a housewife. I grew up in a household that was basically a hellhole for both me, 20F, and my mother, 48F. My father, 50M, had 2 children before me and 2 children after me, all boys he had with my mom. And because I was born right in the middle, I was singled out for a lot of stuff. A few examples. My dad would often ask each of us what we wanted from the store as a reward for doing well in school. My brothers always got what they wanted. I hardly got what I wanted. On birthdays, my brothers got to see whatever movies they wanted. I never got to choose the movie I wanted to see. If I asked for something for Christmas, I more than likely wouldn't get it unless it was from another family member. Whenever one of us started doing bad in school, I would always get the biggest punishments while my brothers got off easy. My dad allowed my brothers to watch him when he cooked so they could learn. I had to learn how to use things like the freaking grill on my own. My brothers could wear swim trunks or a Speedo. I was only allowed to wear a one-piece swimsuit, which I hated because it made going to the bathroom awkward. Dad would always come and support my brothers whenever they had an event. Whenever I had one, all I would get was constant criticism. The worst one by far. Whenever my brothers got birthday or Christmas money, they'd spend it on candy, toys, clothes, etc. I wasn't even allowed by my father to touch my money, and I counted from when I was 7 to when I was 15, I had over $800 in cash that I was denied. This got way worse when I entered middle school. My older brothers, Matt and Kyle, not real names, realized I was being left out and we talked about it with our little brothers, and now all of us include each other in our celebrations. But now, all of a sudden, my dad was constantly telling my brothers not to interact with me in any way and to pretend like I wasn't there. And then, all of a sudden my stuff started going missing. It started small with my pencil sharpener and a note card or something. Then, it escalated into my merchandise disappearing, and then my movies. And anything I bought with my own money would be gone the next day. Then, when I confronted my dad about it, he didn't deny what he did and said he threw it all away because I'm growing up to be a housewife that doesn't need that shit. I told him I don't want to be a housewife, I want to get a real job. He then sent me to my room. And as I entered high school, I found that my swimsuits had been thrown out, a few of my cool shirts had been thrown out, even my phone had been thrown out. When I found out that had been thrown out, I tried keeping it cool at school that day, but I just broke down in the middle of class. And when my parents found out about what happened, my dad kicked me out. My older brothers had graduated high school already and were living together to save money, so I went to stay with them. And I got therapy, and I eventually learned that my stuff wasn't thrown out. And that's when I learned the truth. My dad tried to throw it all out to groom me into becoming a housewife so he could marry me off to one of his coworkers. But when I broke down crying in school, he kicked me out so he didn't have to hear me because the moment I cried, he decided to abandon the plan and cover his tracks. You might be thinking where my mom was in all this. She did everything she could to help me, but her own husband wouldn't listen to her. I was the middle child and he was entitled to everything regarding me because I'm his daughter, and if he wants this to be my life, this is my life. It's no wonder that me being kicked out led to them getting divorced. And if you're wondering about my little brothers, they want nothing to do with my dad and actively refuse to go to his house. And moving in with Matt and Kyle was easily the best decision I made. I learned that all my stuff was saved from the dumpster and put in a storage facility, and I got most of my stuff back. And the clothes that didn't fit me we sold by holding a yard sale. Matt and Kyle's backyard also had a pool and hot tub, and I was finally able to experience them in a bikini. Thanks to help from mom and my little brothers, I was able to confess to my best friend who was now my girlfriend. When I turned 18, I came out of my shell and got piercings in my ears, my navel, and my nipples. When I graduated, we celebrated it at Matt and Kyle's house. The whole family was there. Except for Dad. Where was he, anyway? He got arrested for a DUI car crash after being high on marijuana, and has been in jail for a few years now awaiting trial. Good. I'm now moved out of Matt and Kyle's, or rather just Matt's because Kyle moved out of the house as they bought a house for me and my girlfriend, which of course had a pool and a hot tub. So, to my dad, F***CKU for being absolutely awful as a parent, and F***CKU for being terrible to me because I was born in the middle. Your dad wasn't mean to you because you were born in the middle, he was mean to you because you're female. What a misogynistic a-hole. I'm glad you're free of him. At least your brothers had your back. It also sounds like the rest of the world knows what a POS sperm donor is. I am so glad to see that unlike your father, your brothers grew up to be respectable and enjoyable people once they realized what was happening. Congrats on everything you have gained, accomplished, and got back. Your dad was such a piece of crap that he deserves everything bad that happens to him. Preparing you to be married off to one of his co-workers? And, dude, join us in the future, won't you? No, you know what, rot forever in the past, POS. No one will miss you and your backwards way of thinking and living. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.